Hi, my name is Greg Scher and I'm a chiropractor at the Sydney Spine and Sports Clinic. We've got branches in the city, in Double Bay and Alexandria. And what I'm going to show you now is a great series of exercises to release tension in your lower limb. And we're going to start with your hip flexor. And by sitting in front of a computer, we tend to compress these. Sitting in a car also compresses these. And it's a great exercise to just stretch out the front of our body. And all we have to do is stand up, facing straight ahead, and we lunge forward. And what we're doing is we're feeling a stretch at the back of the thigh and all the way down. And a really good way to accentuate the stretch is to just gently lean away, feeling tension all the way through the front of the thigh. So leaning away from the thigh that we are stretching, and slowly release the tension and then repeat on the other side. So once we've done the front of the hip flexor, we're going to move into the next one, which is to do the front of our thigh. If you've got really good balance, you can do it without holding on to anything and just gently pull your foot towards your buttock. If you do need to hold on to something, what I would suggest is find a wall or a chair, foot to buttock, and pull your foot as far to your buttock as possible and draw your knee as far back as possible, holding onto the wall for balance. When you do this exercise, you should feel tension all the way through the front of the thigh and even up into your hip flexor. And slowly release the tension and then repeat on the other side. We're then going to move into the groin, which is a very important muscle to stretch, especially for people who are playing soccer and football, changes of direction like basketball. These muscles tend to get very tight, and groin strains are very common in that population of athletes. So we're just gently going to lunge to the side, keeping our affected legs straight, and get into the tension in our groin and holding that position there nice and static for 20 to 30 seconds. And slowly release the tension and then repeat on the other side. So a really good alternative to what we showed earlier with the hip flexor stretch is to do it if you've got a bed, and all you do is you put your knee on the bed as shown and you lean forward in a lunge position, feeling the stretch over here. And if you really are flexible, same position, and you just bring your foot up towards your bum to now get stretched through your quadriceps muscles as well. So the next really good stretch to do is for the outside of the thigh. This is a very important one for runners and cyclists, triathletes, because this muscle called the ITB, or the iliotibial band over here, and the muscle up here called TFL, or tensor fasciae lata, tend to get very tight, causing knee pain and hip pain in that athlete population. So how we stretch it out is we step forward with our foot on the right side of front of the left foot, and we gently, keeping your upper body straight, lean down towards the back foot, the left foot, and in this case I feel the stretch over here at the top of my hip joint. I hold it straight sideways, and it's very important to not feel any pain in your back while doing this. All you need to be doing is feeling a tension through the outside of your hip. You may feel some tension all the way down to your knee if you've got really tight bands. And slowly release the tension and then repeat on the other side. So now to stretch the back of your thigh, otherwise known as the hamstring, it's very important to not bend your back in this movement because that can put pressure on the disc. So the best way I find to do this is to lift your leg up onto a surface like stairs or a chair or a chiropractic table if you've got one of these lying around. You dig your heel into the surface and pull your buttock back, all the while keeping your knee straight. Bend your back leg, and all you do is you stand facing straight ahead while feeling tension all the way behind your thigh. And it doesn't matter how flexible you are with this, you can always get good tension by pulling your buttock further away from your foot without having to bend your back. So an alternative stretch now for the groin shown earlier is to take your body, keep your foot in the same position, and all you do is you turn yourself around facing towards that direction and feeling your groin stretching in that one. Bend your other leg slightly. You just hold the tension in your hamstring and your groin for 20 to 30 seconds, never bouncing, and just holding it at the point of discomfort, never pain. And slowly release the tension and then repeat on the other side. Regarding our hamstrings, I've got a really good myth buster for you. Is what's commonly done in gyms and in yoga studios all over the place, and what really feels good to people is to do a hamstring stretch while standing up and just rounding their spines, which is really bad for your low back if it's done improperly with a curved spine. So I'm going to show you how not to do a hamstring stretch. I'm going to reach down and feel our backs, keeping our knees straight. And in this position, our backs are really weak and compromised. And if you've got a slight disc injury, this is the position that your disc can easily be injured in. So the correct way to do a standing hamstring stretch, if that's what you want to do, is to do it by keeping your low back flat and what we call in table mode. So what you then do is you keep your knees straight and you reach down, keeping your low back straight all the time, looking straight ahead of you. And right there, I feel really big tension in my hamstrings and a good stretch, which I'm now holding and not bouncing. So the last stretches of the lower limb that we'll do are of your calves and your Achilles tendons. We don't have a step in the clinic, so we're going to do it off the table, but if you've got a flight of steps at home that you can use the balustrades to lean on, or a raised surface like a kiddie step, and this is a really good exercise to do while you are even on the escalator on a flight of steps. So what we do is we gently let our heel fall off the step, and the first position is keeping our knee straight and just feeling the tension through the back of your calf muscle. We hold that position for 20 to 30 seconds with no bouncing. And to make the stretch target more into the Achilles tendon, which is down here, all we need to do now is bend our knee a little bit towards our toe. Again, feeling the tension now lower in the calf, holding that position for 20 to 30 seconds. And slowly release the tension and then repeat on the other side.